Wow, guys. This is actually crazy. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Yep. This is actually mind blowing. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is actually mind blowing. Um. So I was just watching you know a few channels, right? Like not even a few channels. Like I was here looking at a few of these YouTube pages, some of these news pages that have YouTube. I was looking at some of these news pages, and I was listening to some of the children describing the ordeal. The young man that actually carried out this tragedy, right? Who inflicted this pain on that entire community, the entire nation, and the entire world. It was said to be very quiet, right? One of the young ladies that were in this, one of the young ladies that was describing it to the news, they were saying that he was sitting in class, and then he left, and then he came back, and they let him in to the building, and they didn't realize that he had a gun. So the person, I believe it was a teacher that let him in, saw that he had a gun and backed away. So evidently this was a quiet kid. You know how that goes. Um, you know, that's usually the case. Usually when you do hear about things like this, they usually say the kid was very quiet. So what emotions was this kid, was this child, right? This young man, if you will. What were the emotions that this young man was harboring? What would have driven him to take such drastic action, right? Against innocent people, against his peers, against people in his community, against people in his school. And look, school sometimes could be a tough place. It could be a very rough place, right? It can. Let's face it. Everyone at school is not the nicest person in the world, right? There are people that are at school that are not entirely pleasant, to be completely honest with you. Let's just call a spade a spade. But even then, right? And I'm not condoning this, but it's better a kid skip school, right, than for them to carry out acts of violence like this, right? So for me, even though we want our country to be educated, you can't force it down anyone's throat. Because if they don't want to be there and they would rather be somewhere else, it's better for them to be somewhere else than to be doing things like this to innocent people. Right? It'd be better for them to be somewhere else than to be doing this to children. Plain and simple. So now we have to witness kids walking single file, walking out of the classroom. They have to have their hands held up, right? After experiencing something this tragic and this traumatic, now they have to walk as if they're criminals, You got to walk with their hands up in the hallway, right? And sure, it's for their own safety. I get it. I understand. It's for everyone's safety because you don't know who's holding what at that point. But this is something, guys, it's happened far too often, and it shouldn't be happening so often. It really shouldn't. It shouldn't. Isn't this supposed to be the greatest country in the world? This is supposed to be the greatest country in the world. Is it? Maybe I was wrong for saying that. Maybe I was wrong for believing that. Because things like this doesn't happen in the greatest country in the world. No, it can't. It can't happen like this in the greatest country in the world. I watch the Prem, right? Sometimes art imitates reality, right? And I see referees and they, make some reckless decisions, right? Referees who of a league with people, especially in football, that claim this is the best league in the world. Not with referees like that. It's not. There's no way. That can't be a representation of the best league in the world. And this can't be a representation of the best country in the world. Not somewhere where these things happen so often. These things happen far too often. Far too often. So how are we going to tackle this situation? I'm open to ideas. Whatever ideas you guys have. Me, I say we put metal detectors in all the schools. Elementary, preschool, all schools. Metal detectors in order to get into the building. All safety measures. Right? The children are not only the present, but they are the future as well. And they should be protected. School should be the safest place next to their home. Home, school, these two places should be the safest place for children. Everywhere should be safe for children. Especially schools and especially their homes. Get what I mean? So now, are you mad at parents that say, all right, cool, we got to start homeschooling our kid? I'm not. I think that would be a brilliant idea. Right? But a lot of parents are not in a financial situation to homeschool their children. Right? But I'm interested in hearing about some of the things that you guys have to say about this. I'll be paying close attention to what are some of the ideas, as a matter of fact. Hold on a second. What are some of the things that we can do in order to stop these violent acts from occurring in school? All right, so I just put up a poll. Can we stop these armed acts or armed acts of violence in schools? Can we stop it? I just put up a poll, so if you guys can, please go ahead and check out the poll. Avery says, hi, back again. Welcome back, Avery. Michael Castell says, correct. Welcome, Michael. Rap McMod says, hello, how you doing? Can you see me? I can see you. I love school because learn new math and reading, says Avery. That's wonderful. I missed your first live and I was so disappointed, thinking it was only stream tonight. So glad you're on again. Yes, Sarah, thank you so much. We are back again because, yeah, this issue, we got to put a stop to the violence and these violent situations that are occurring in schools. We need children to be safe. So I figured, why not have a discussion? And I'm interested in hearing some of the things that you guys have to say. I have a pen right here. I have my book right here, right? I have the iPad right in front of me, but I'm going to write these things down. So I do want to hear some of the things that you guys have to say. I say one of the things that we could do, we could have metal detectors, right? We can get cops, not just any cop. You can't just put any and every cop, right? Or any and any protector, sort of security guard. Some sort of security forces, right? That are that are able to protect, right? And it can't just be one or two of them. It has to be a multitude of them, right? That are making sure that the kids are safe. Because when the kids are not safe, that's not a good thing. It's not. Right? So what are some of the things that you guys think that we can do? What are some of the things? Why are we not holding our politicians accountable? Right? Not saying that they did it, but we're electing you for something, aren't we? What are you doing to stop it? What are the steps you're taking to stop this from happening? No more slap on the wrist. Right? No more slap on the wrist. No more playing it safe. You remember what happened with 9/11? I remember when 9/11, the 9/11 tragedy happened. I was a kid. I remember sitting in music class and the teachers just switching on the TV, and we saw the tragedy that happened. And since then, right? And rest in peace to everyone who's lost their life in that situation, and all the families and everyone who's affected by the aftermath of it. Too many people, far too many people, were affected by that tragedy. But if you remember, after that tragedy, security was so amped up at the airports, you couldn't get nothing through the airport without them knowing. Right? So it took 9/11 for that situation to happen. And nothing of that magnitude has happened since those situations happened 23 years ago. Right? Approaching 23 years because we are in September. Right? So why is it now, right, that we are unable, because, we've had situation after situation happen where kids were affected by these things. How come we haven't put a stop to it yet? Why isn't security beefed up yet? Why is this still occurring over and over and over again? Why? We did it with the airports. Is it because money's coming in and out of the airports? Right? Forget about the airports. What about the kids? What about the children? What about them? I'm not saying the airports are not important. They absolutely are. But the children are more important. You get what I'm saying? This is the future of the nation. This is the future of the world. Right? So we got to do our best to keep them safe. We all have to have a part to play in it. So what are some of the ideas that you guys have? Interested to see some more. Michael Castile says, yes, if they have these feelings, they need to talk to someone. I do counseling is another thing that I did suggest as well earlier today in the previous live stream when I was talking about it. So yeah, counseling. But are these kids really going to just get up and just say, "Oh yeah, I'm having this feeling about doing this and that and third"? Are they just gonna up and just say it to any and anyone, or go to a counselor and say it? Or should the counselor really be somebody that cares about these kids, right? And cares about their interest, and does have, come to the classroom and have dialogue with the kids, right? Do the kids know that they matter, right? The kids that may be outcast, that may not feel loved, right? Do they feel as if they're part of the school, as if they're part of the group? Do they feel as if they matter? Right? Because if they don't have enough love for themselves, they're going to do things like this. Right? If they don't care about themselves, then how do you expect them to care about others? So what are we doing to ensure that these kids are mentally and spiritually balanced and aligned? What are we doing? What are some of the things that we could do? So counseling, I think that's a brilliant one. I think it's brilliant. I think kids do need someone to talk to, right? I think they need to sit down, and I think they need to discuss these things, right? Because you don't want to become something combust. You don't want to be combustible. You don't want to keep this energy up and not have somewhere to release it in a positive way, right? Their attitudes, like your attitude, your outlook on it, your outlook on life in general. How do you deal with disappointments? How do you deal with things that aren't the most pleasant? Right? Because we don't all need to be dealing with things. We don't always have to deal with things in a negative way. I'm not gonna say hold it in and just keep it combustible. If you do need to express yourself, but you don't have to express yourself like this. This is not expressing yourself. Right? This doesn't count as you expressing yourself. I mean, on one degree, you are. But at the same time, you're not doing anything positive, right? Or you're not inspiring anyone. You're not helping anyone around you, right? What you're really expressing is your ego. Not your true self. It's your ego. Right? And for some reason, this individual's delicate little ego was bruised. And he felt like he needed to come back and take it out on innocent children. Right? Why? Because he had access to weapons somewhere. Far too often we're saying these things. Far too often. Remember, it wasn't that long ago the situation happened with Trump. Right? And feel how you want to feel about him. Right? Not exactly everybody's cup of tea. Everyone doesn't have to be everyone's cup of tea. But look at what happened with him. It wasn't that long ago. Was it last month? The month before? Right? It's like July or something like that. Wasn't that long ago. I think it was July. We're now in September. It ain't been 2 months. And already, we have situations like this happening in school. And the person that did that was also a young man. Right? Was he, like 20 or something like that? 19? So what is it that's happening? What exactly is happening in the culture? What's happening in the country? Why do these things keep reoccurring? And what are some of the things that we can do? Coasty Scary says, what's happening? What's up? Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Michael, I agree with you as well. It's horrible that we are used to this in as a country. It's horrible, right? And for a country that calls itself the best country in the world, we should be acting like the best country in the world. Not only acting, we should actually be the best country in the world. But with things like this happening, how can we say that? Right? With things like, remember the last time we had a president that his term was over? Remember what happened? Remember what transpired in the best country in the world? This is how we deal with our issues in the best country of the world. This is the example that we're setting for everyone else. At what point are we going to grow up? So I remember when I was a kid, when I was a kid, I used to fight. I did. Right? I didn't let anybody play with me when I was a kid. Right? As an adult, I realized, hey, I can't keep dealing with every issue in that way. At what point am I going to evolve and stop doing that? Right? So, in my 20s, started to really stay away from these things, right? And in my 30s, recently in my 30s, right? I started to really gain a lot more self-control. That's what really makes you a man. That's what really makes you powerful. That you're able to exercise self-control. You're not exercising self-control when you're marching into a school full with kids and doing things like this. You're not exercising self-control when you're doing these things, right? And then they get a badge of honor, right? Not to say this kid's going to get a badge of honor, but a lot of the violence that does happen in this country, oh yeah, he's a real one. Oh, he's real. No, he's not. You went up against people who were unarmed, right? You went up against people who they couldn't fight back, right? Because you're the only one that has weapons. They didn't have an opportunity to fight back. They didn't have an opportunity to fight back. You took it upon yourself to fire on children that didn't have the opportunity to fight back, right? And he himself was, I want to say he was a child, but I can't. I really can't, because it's not what kids do. Kids, yeah, they might fight, right? Yeah, okay, all right, cool. You have a disagreement, right? You're not mature enough to handle it. You're all right, yeah. That is not what kids do. You understand what I'm saying? So how can we even say that? Yeah. I think it's time we really started to come up with some solutions. Someone says monkeypox was already in New York earlier this year. All right, not entirely sure what that's. Okay. Someone says Iceland is the safest, says Costy Scary. I don't dispute that. I haven't been to Iceland myself, so I don't really know. But there's quite a bit of places that are safer than the United States, to be completely honest with you. This isn't exactly the safest place, right? It should be. It really should. It should. There shouldn't be any excuses when it comes to it. America should be the safest place on earth. Because if you're going to call yourself the leader of the free world, if you're going to call yourself the best country in the world, then you have to lead by example. Right? So when everybody on the outside sees the dysfunction that's happening in the country, they tend to look like, are these the guys that why is everybody so fascinated with these guys? What's so great about that place? Understand what I'm saying? So how can you be a shining light? How can you be an example for everyone, right? When you're not even an example for yourself. Hello, Amdu Brazil. Big up yourself, Brazil. Yes, Google if you don't believe me. There was over 20 cases, not full blown outbreak, but yeah, for sure. Florida says, "Hey, how you doing, Florida?" WSG, Brazil, Brazil. Okay, nice hair. Thank you so much, Billy. We need to work together, and yes, working together. Absolutely, I do. I do feel like we do need to be working together, and that was something that we mentioned earlier today. Working together. This is a we problem, right? So we have to work together, right? That's relatively vague, right? But we have to come up with a solution. That's what we're doing right now. We're working together to come up with a solution, right? This isn't the biggest community in the world, but we're coming up with solutions and we're writing down ideas of things that we could do to stop the violence that's happening right across America, especially in schools and in homes. These places should be the safest places, right? Should be the safest places. At my kids, we have an app to open the doors, no keys. Okay. My school has lockdown, so I'm safe, says EJ World. Okay. Please elaborate. Please elaborate. Whatever is in the best interest in your family and the kids should be implemented everywhere. Absolutely. You're absolutely right about that. Terrence B says we can stop it, but they don't want to. Terrence, I'm hoping that you're wrong on this situation, to be honest with you. Right? I'm hoping that you're wrong. I really don't want to believe that. I really don't want to believe that. But when you think about the things that we can do and what we are actually doing, right? So instead of you putting so many officers, I'm sure, guys, you see all these officers setting speed traps and pulling people over for not putting on their turning signal and this, that, and the third, right? Instead of doing that, how about you keep the kids safe? There's an idea. How about you keep the kids safe? How about that? Instead of you putting the whoop whoop, clocks you doing a 46 in a 45, right? Instead of that, why not? There you are. You're in this. Keep the kids safe. Keep the school safe. Make sure that you're walking around the school, and you have somebody standing up and guarding this entrance, and you guys aren't letting your guards down, right? Someone's there checking up on you. Employ someone to go around and check up to make sure that they're doing the jobs that they're supposed to do, because this is a national security situation. This is something that needs to happen on a national level, guys. Right? The kids need to be safe, guys. They need to be safe. Stop giving the person a chance to surrender. You forfeit your... Okay. When you unalive others. Sorry, not sorry. If you have the opportunity to take that person in, and actually do go through the justice system, I don't think that's a bad idea, right? I think these are the type of people that the justice system was actually made for, right? I get what it is that you're saying on an emotional level. Honestly, I do. But maybe the family wants a little bit of closure. Maybe they want to ask why. Why did you do it? Right? Maybe if we discover as collectively, if we discover why this person did this, right? If we examine the mind and the thought process of the person that did this and the reasons behind why they did these things, then we have a base to build something on, right? Then we could see in the future and see, all right, cool. Well, if we have children that are feeling these feelings, if we have children that are going through these things, then we can implement certain things. We can take proactive measurements in order to stop these kids, stop whatever that situation is from getting out of control, right? But if we unalive the person, we're not able to really address the situation, right? But now what we really need is answers. We need answers. We need honesty and we need answers. So that's why I'm not opposed to them taking him into custody. Right? Because this needs to be examined. So that's how we get to the root of this. You clip him, you can't get to the root of fixing the actual problem. Right? So yeah, I do get it on one level why you would want to. And if they are still a danger and you're not able to stop them, then yes, by all means, for the safety of everyone, clip them. But if you're able to take that person in the custody and arrive at a conclusion or arrive at some answers, right? I think that's what we need to do, if I'm honest. They will find a way in, says Daniel. I hear what you're saying, but not if we're implementing what it is that we're implementing. Right? I think it'll be a lot more difficult for them to find a way in. EJ World says lockdown is safe. We take it seriously in New Zealand. I do remember when we had the COVID lockdown a few years ago. I don't entirely know what a New Zealand lockdown looks like, right? But I do remember the COVID lockdown when people had curfew. You weren't allowed to be on the road at certain times, and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. But I don't really understand what you mean when you say lockdown in the sense of New Zealand. It might have a different meaning over there. Like, is it something where the community, people in the community aren't allowed out after dark? Is it something where you're not allowed into the school? Is it something where kids are not allowed out of the school? Or what exactly does that mean? Making mental health a big priority, says Michael Castile. Yeah, Mike. Absolutely, mental health should be a big priority. Yeah, counseling. I think that goes under counseling and making mental health a big priority. I think that makes a lot of sense. The majority of weapon owners get mad when you talk about regulation. Well, what are we looking at here? If the country ain't safe for nobody, then we got to start doing things. It's just that simple. Like it or not. Like it or not. Like it or not. If it ain't safe for kids, it ain't safe for nobody. If it's not safe for children, it ain't safe for nobody. Get what I'm saying? Metal detector and make mental health a big priority. Yes, indeed. The majority of gun owners, okay. Metal detector. Metal detector in security camps. Hey, man, they got that stuff in New York. They're all over in New York, but it doesn't stop people from acting a fool, these cameras. People still do bizarre things. Even in New York, even in Manhattan, which is ridiculous to me. But yeah, it has to be a little bit more than that. Avery says, I got to go to bed, so have a good day or night. Love that I was talking to you. Bye. Thank you so much, Avery. Have a good night. I'm probably only going to be doing this stream for about an hour because, yeah, I actually have to get up early tomorrow because, again, it's my child's first day of school. So I told her since last week that I was going to be there. So I'm going to be there with my kid. You know, and I'm going to read some stuff about attitude before she starts her school day. And I'm going to spend my day at least close by. So that she'll be okay. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go anywhere too far. Mental health evaluation for every American when they turn 13, 15, 17. Also, mental health evaluation before being able to purchase a firearm. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. I agree with that, John Lee. Mental health, yes. Evaluation before, yes. Right? And that was another thing we mentioned earlier. Evaluation, right? We mentioned it in a previous video earlier today when we did the live stream from the car. Mental evaluation before purchasing firearms. Mental evaluation before becoming a police officer. Mental evaluation before having that police officer work around children, right? I think that these are all things that are very well put, right? So I think people in these positions should be A1. They should be model citizens, not just on paper, right? Not just on paper, not just what it appears to be, but you should actually be that at your core, right? Not saying that people who get mental evaluation should be perfect. Not saying everyone is going to be perfect, but yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that. John Brister says, how you doing, my friend? This is John from Brooklyn, New York, saying hello. Big up to all of Brooklyn. Big up to John Brister, our neighbor over there in Brooklyn. Big up to all of NYC. Yeah, Brooklyn's in the house. Big up yourself, John, and hope you're having a wonderful night. EJ World says, sorry. Not a problem, EJ World. I don't know why you're apologizing, but it's all good. No Answer says, this problem did not appear overnight. No, it did not. I 100% agree with you on that. And it's not going to go away overnight. It is going to need some work. Unless you can get fathers back into the home. Children committing these acts will continue to get worse. I agree with you, No Answers. I do agree with you on that. I think fathers are an integral part of the home. I think especially strong fathers that want to be there for their children, fathers that will do anything for their children, and fathers that want a better world for all children, not only our own children, but all children, right? I agree with that. I think that's a big thing as well. Bringing fathers back, but that's depends on what kind of father a lot of times as well. I'm not going to, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It does depend on what kind of fathers. But yes, No Answers. I absolutely agree with you. I think not having the father in the home, I think that's the cause of a lot of anger, right? I could tell you that from personal experience. I think that causes a lot of resentment. That causes a lot of, abandonment issues, trust issues, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that is at the nucleus of a lot of mental health issues. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that. Bringing fathers back into the house plays a big, huge role. But how do we go about doing that? You know what I mean? That's the difficult part. But No Answers. I co-sign what it is that you're saying. I co-sign what it is that you're saying. Dag says Amendment 2, sir. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. He said, it's like in their blood. The culture of it, says Dag. Because we have more weapons than people, says L. Frost. That actually is true. That actually is actually true. Michael Castile says, exactly. We need to think about them. Absolutely. Nathan Loves to Grow says, it's a war out there. I don't disagree with you, Nathan. I do not disagree with you. There definitely is. Right? But again, the war is not... we want to say the war is not against flesh and blood. But I'm going to put my own spin on it, right? It's not only against flesh and blood, right? It gets deeper, right? It gets deeper. Deeper and deeper and deeper. Yeah. It's really a spiritual thing. But thank you so much. Nathan Loves to Grow. The Big Daddy says, my only question is how these kids are getting these weapons. Yes. My mother was asking that question as well. How are these kids getting their hands on these weapons? How? Someone actually was in the chat. The very last live that we did about an hour ago. Someone was in the chat, right? And they said that back in the day when they were growing up in Alabama, and this is in the 90s at that kids had access to all of these things, but they weren't doing anything with it. To hurt each other. They were just hunting, right? But it's one of those things, man. I just don't think that kids should be having their hand. Kids and people who aren't mentally well, right, should not be having their hands on these firearms. And yeah. I do believe people should be able to protect themselves. But I don't think that every dispute that you have with someone, you need to go and grab a weapon. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. It ain't that serious. Take it easy. Crazy JP SA says, bro, I hate that I want to release a music video for that to stop abuse and violence. You shouldn't hate that you want to release a music video to stop this, because if you're using your art form, for the betterment of society, for the betterment of the world. I know when I was doing art, I didn't exactly use the art that I was doing for the betterment of society and the betterment of the world. But if you're using it to, implement some changes and to help increase the odds of something happening to change these things in the world, I don't see why not. I think that's a brilliant idea, Crazy JPSA. I think you should do that. I think we need more music like that, right? Because people don't understand the concept of, all right, cool, we're listening to this negative music, but we're not absorbing the negativity. We're converting the negativity into motivation, right? So you could listen to some really aggressive music and it could amp you up in the gym and help you to get a good workout in. You could listen to some of this music and just convert the energy into something positive and help it to motivate yourself. But everyone doesn't filter it out. Everyone thinks this stuff should be literal. Everyone thinks reality should be imitating art. Reality shouldn't be imitating art. You understand what I'm saying? Stop trying to be a character in someone else's rap song. You don't need to be that. And not saying rap had anything to do with this situation. We don't know. But stop trying to, but this is in general. Kids, stop trying to be the main character in someone else's rap song. Or some of this drill music that I see. But Crazy, please go through with stopping the violence and helping and make the music meaningful. Right? Make it meaningful. Make the music something special. Right? Put all of your energy into making something that will stick. that people could sing to, that would help increase the vibration of the people around you, that will inspire people to do great things, not inspire people to be degenerates, not inspire people to do the opposite of great things, not inspiring people to hurt others, right? So I co-sign what it is that you're saying, Crazy JP. I wish you all the best in your endeavors. And I do hope you have a successful song. I sincerely do. Michael Castile says, parents need to make sure the weapons in the house or any weapons are locked up, so then it's not a temptation. Yes, my mother said the same exact thing. My mother said the same exact thing. You're absolutely right about that, Michael. Islam is okay. We're not talking about Islam being good or not good. Someone saying Islam is not good. We're not talking about that stuff right now. That's not what it is that we are here for. We're here to put an end to the violence that's happening. We don't need anyone kicking out on anyone else's religion and talking crap about someone else's religion, okay? Not only can we stop gang violence in schools, it needs to be done now. Absolutely. It starts at home with parents and teachers in school. Need to be better role models and care more. Jack. Brilliant. I remember when I was this kid in Chicago, has the same last name as me, as a matter of fact. Has the same last name as me, but no relation, right? The last name, my Harris last name actually, well, it doesn't originate in Jamaica, but it's from Jamaica, right? Much like, you know, the Harris in the White House, or that's attempting to be in the White House right now, right? Kamala Harris, right? But this young man had the same last name as us, right? And he was like a drill rapper in Chicago. I had never heard of him prior to him being unalived. Little Jeff, right? Little Jeff was his name. And when he passed away, his father, it's almost as if he was co-signing the gangsterism. Not saying that he was proud that his son passed away, but he was saying, oh, his son, he was always evidently alluding to his son being a terrorist in some ways, right? He didn't use those exact terms, but the things that he was saying, it's if he was proud of his son living a gangster lifestyle. His son, who was a teenager that passed on, I might add. It's like he was proud of this kid. So yeah, parenting has a lot to do with this. Yes, it does. You're absolutely right. Peaceful protest instead of violence and running and ruining your life. Okay, I agree. Hi, all. I think they need to sincerely look into bullying. Some of these people that do these acts have been bullied constantly. The bullies also need to go to therapy too. Yes, I agree with that as well. The bullies also need to go to therapy as well. I think because we don't care enough about the students, I think because we don't care enough about the community, I think because people only care about lining their pockets and people only care about they and them, right? That as a collective, we are all reaping the rewards of that sort of selfishness, right? I'm not saying, listen, love yourself. You're supposed to learn how to love yourself, but really yourself, right? You really go inward and love yourself, not for who you look like on the outside or who the shell is, right? But I mean the true essence of who you are. And that thing that connects all of us together as one, right? So when you're loving yourself, you're loving every single person around you. A person that loves themselves doesn't go off into Aapalachee, right? Into the high school, right? Hope I'm pronouncing the name right. But a person that loves themselves, they don't go into the school and do things like this. A person with a great attitude that's been, that feels like they're a part of the community, that feels loved, right? They don't go out and do things like this. So you're absolutely right, Thrifty. I agree with everything that it is that you're saying right now. I agree with all of it. Thank you so much, and it's good to see you, Thrifty. It's always pleasant to see your face, right? I appreciate you for being here tonight. Thank you so much. All right. King Jack JBS says a lot of bullies develop these habits from shitty environments at home. Yes. I think so. I think a lot of it does come from that. Learned behavior, things that they learn from their home, or things that they learn from the internet. Parents aren't parenting as much as they should be parenting. And then the ones that want to parent are not allowed to parent as much as they should parent. Honest discussion doesn't involve euphemism and other deceptive dialogue. EJ World says, shout out. So true. That's a sign of maturity, says Roxanne. Absolutely. OMG, he shaved. I like your beard, says Mason. Mason, big up yourself. Have patience. God's judgments are just, says Slade. Thank you so much, Slade. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm gonna give me 1 second. I'm gonna check the poll in 1 second. I just want to check something else first. All right, let me check the poll to see what it is that's happening. All right, so we left off at Slade. All right, let's see. So the question was asked: can we stop the weapon violence? Right? You guys know what weapon it is we're talking about. 66% of people said yes. In schools, right? The weapon violence in schools. 66% of people said yes. 34% of people do not agree that we can stop it. I'm one of those. I'm one of the 66 that believe that we can stop it. To be completely honest with you, I think there are things that we can do to stop it. This was premeditated, says Roxanne. Yes, it was. It was premeditated. You're definitely right. From one of the witnesses that were there in the school said that he was in class with her, and then he left and came back with a weapon. Right? Okay. Someone says doctors have patience. Right. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. Okay, so this person is going to get banned for being insensitive about this situation because this is not the time for trolling. I subbed and liked because I agree with you very much, says Michael Castile. Thank you so much, Michael Castile. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Hillbilly G says hello and goodbye. Haha. I can't stop to watch tonight, but I can stop to leave like and say hi. Also, I'm sad you shaved the beard. I ran my cross country race today and got 29 out of 31. Good night. Congratulations, my guy. Yeah, listen, the beard is, it's not, the thing is with hair and in the beard is that it's not it comes back, right? So it it does grow back. So that's the other aspect of it. When it comes to beard in here, I've cut my beard in here a number of times. My mom, I know she's in here right now. She could attest to that. That I've been cutting my hair and growing my hair since I was a teenager, right? Yeah. So in my beard, I've been growing my beard and cutting my beard, like really, really growing it. For like 6 months at a time. I've never had a beard for more than 7 months ever. But I've been growing my beard and cutting my beard for quite a while, long enough for me to know that yes, it does grow back. So yeah, big up yourself. Congratulations on what it is that you did, Hillbilly G. That is a phenomenal milestone that you reached and something you could cross off your bucket list. And I'm proud of you. We all are proud of you. Congratulations on competing in your cross country race. Excellent job. I'm at my kids' schools has an app to open the doors. We don't have keys. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So it's pretty safe. Okay, okay, Michael, I get it. Florida says more security. Yes, indeed. I'm just Obi says Broski. I've not been here for a few days, and this man looks like a whole new person. Yeah, that tends to happen when you shave your beard. When you tend to have your facial hair and you grow it for a little while, 6 months. You tend to get used to this. How you look with the beard, and then when you shave the beard, it's something to get used to again, right? But it is like seeing an old friend you haven't seen in a while. So if any of you guys have the opportunity to grow a beard, and you can grow a beard, and you do grow your beard, you'll realize that if and when you cut your beard, right, it's like meeting an old friend again. So it is a beautiful experience. But big up yourself. I'm just Obi. It's wonderful to see you again tonight. Evelyn Ivy says, you going to church Sunday? She's saying that I'm going to church. She's not asking. For the love of tacos, you seen the new Google Sima? What? Okay. Not going to read your name. I almost did, but I'm not going to read it. It's a middle-class suburb. People doing crashing out, shooting kids, says this unique individual. The same adults are the ones with low moral compass, says Frederick the Angel, or Friedrich the Angel. You want kids to stop violence? Simply teach them their two most valuable assets in life are your time and freedom. Be wise how you spend your time so you can enjoy more of freedom in life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sheridan Forbes, absolutely right about that. But yeah, it's definitely a spiritual thing for sure. Where's Kane, says Loca Tina. Who's Cain? Harry Cain? Or Cain and Abel? Is this like a biblical reference? Not entirely sure what you mean. Florida with a sad emoji. Dolly says they pro-fund people so not care. They pro-fund people so not care. Dolly, I apologize. I don't know what it is that you're trying to say right there. Please reword it so that I could get to the bottom of what it is that I mean, because that was a little confusing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Someone says, as a 10-year-old, that violence is not right. Well, you're right, but I don't know what a 10-year-old is doing up at 1:28 on a school night. I don't even have a watch. I don't even know. I look down. I don't have a watch on my hand right now. I don't know what you're doing at 1:28 right now, to be honest with you. Madrick, probably should be going to bed, young man. I'm sure you have school tomorrow. My ain't gonna make me do a mental evaluation to buy stolen things, says Mr. Mars. Stolen weapon. TH3 YD Laughter says, I don't know. Cause who gets to decide? Also, what if someone not in a okay situation where they can wait tons of time? It's all right, not a privilege. It shouldn't be kept away behind the gov's choice. Are you talking about weapons? What exactly are you talking about, Mr. Laughter? I don't know what it is you're talking about. Hot take. Teachers should conceal carry. Probably not every teacher. We probably don't want weapons in the hands of every teacher. Not entirely sure that would be something that, teacher loses a temper and, a kid's messing with them or doing something like that. And I'm not entirely sure if that's something that we really need right now, to be honest with you. I think we should have people that are at the school that are protecting the people inside the school. people that are trained, people that are evaluated, people that are trusted. And you should also have someone that is doing routine checkups to make sure that these places are safe. And no matter what, no matter how many years of peace we have to rectify the situation and make sure it never happens again. And then if we're not good enough at making sure it doesn't happen again, we have to get even better at making sure that it doesn't happen again. Okay? So we have to take measures, and we have to start now. Not tomorrow. We have to start right now. But thank you for your suggestion, GOAT Sports Pick. Tyler says, yes, listen to drill music, and I just listen to it because it's good. No violence intended. Okay. I hear what it is that you're saying. I also create lots of dark songs, says this young man, that tell about how to stop the world's problems. I mean, from my age, I am very creative. As long as you're using your powers to, make the world a better place, then I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. If you're using your powers to, help the world, I don't see anything wrong with that. And I wish you all the luck in your endeavors, Madrick, the YouTuber. Sincerely do. I wish you all the success in the world. Just continue to work hard, continue to stay out of trouble. And the limit is beyond the skies for you, provided you are who you say you are. Catil Henry, this happens once a day, right? Or at least once a day when I do these streams sometimes. Catil Henriksen says, think violence comes from bad parenting. New generation of parents are almost like kids themselves. It's like we never grow up now. Whatever age, they not like the old days. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. There is some truth to that. Far away from how it is today. Yeah, I think everyone wants to be, the people that they used to look up to on the TV. I think everyone is kind of sort of emulating those individuals. So there is some truth to what it is that you're saying. Patrick, I don't know what that is. Lisa Fong says, hi, how you doing, Lisa? Welcome. Plus, true parenting is lost, kinda, before the mother and father made children for building a family. Now it's like people get children without thinking of what it means. They divorce. Let go of the responsibility of what having a child is. Make me kind of sad for the new generation. Yeah, that's getting off into something different, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, it is related. I don't think families are really valued. I don't think fathers are really valued in the household as they should be, right? There's a reason why you have two parents. But I don't think that's necessarily something new. I think the way people kind of go about relationships, and then that's for another stream as well. We can't talk about modern relationships and, these dating apps and Instagram and, people just being fascinated by the things that they see, right? Paying attention to the things outside of themselves and things that are happening, what's happening in the third dimension, as opposed to things that are happening on a deeper level, right? So how are you going to have a deep connection or deep connections with people, right, when the thing that turns you on or the thing that floats your boat the most is what someone looks like on the outside, or just this physical attraction? It has to be deeper than just physical attraction. I'm not saying physical attraction is a bad thing. I'm not, right? But it has to be deeper than just physical attraction, right? Not because you're with a girl, you used to like how she looked, you used to like her or whatever it is, but now you see somebody that's prettier, or that's fresher, or that's newer. It doesn't necessarily have to be prettier, but it's fresher, it's newer, or it is more pretty. You think it's more pretty or whatever, right? Doesn't mean that you just break it off with the person that you've been building with, right? Just because you see a new toy come along, right? Not to say that women are toys, but that's the way you're viewing it in the moment. You get what it is that I'm saying? So, yeah, and not to say that it's guys that's doing these things, right? Because I do see a lot more women filing for divorce and you know, are leaving families, or I mean, are not leaving families, but kind of keeping their fathers away from the child. So there is that school of thought as well. We can't stop it. Everything evolves, says One Life Man. That's not the attitude that I would take to it. I think schools and homes should be safe. I think we can stop it. I think you're being very one-dimensional when you're saying what it is that you're saying. I think if you put the right protocol in, we can stop it. Right? We absolutely can stop it. Someone says Donald Biden. Sarah says, hey, AJ, I'm super tired. Gonna get some rest now. It's all good, Sarah. I don't think that guy is a 10-year-old based on some of the other things they've said. Keep up the great work, and I'll see you next stream. Yes, Sarah, it was an absolute pleasure to have you tonight, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the good things that you've done to help us out here on this channel. Guys, you know what? I think Sarah is absolutely right. We're not going to be here too much longer. I just wanted us to really discuss some of the ideas, so I'm going to get through some more of these questions, or some more of these things that you guys have said, read some of the messages, interact a little bit more with you guys, and we're going to be ending the stream soon as well. I do have to be up early tomorrow to, be there with my child when she's at school. But this is something that we needed to address, to be completely honest with you. So at max, we'll be here for another 30 minutes. Probably won't be that long, though, to be honest with you. Wow, your English is very good. How long have you been learning it? Thank you so much. He says you're the most reasonable guy I came across today. I appreciate that. Not entirely sure where you were going with the first part, though. My dad is in the family military, so I am South Korea, so it's day. All right, so I think we're going to hide that user from this channel. Jazz, say, hey, talk to me. How you doing? How you doing? Okay, now this guy's spewing out random stuff. See you later. See you later, alligator. To answer the poll, it can't be stopped, but can be prevented more than currently. I think it could be stopped in school. I think it can be stopped in schools. I think we could take proactive measures to make sure these things do not happen in schools. I think schools should be the safest place. I will never take that attitude towards it. I will never, ever take that attitude towards it. We absolutely can't stop these things from happening. There's a reason why violence doesn't happen at certain places anymore, and it's because people have taken proactive measures, right? There's a reason why, you don't see these things happening at the airport anymore. You know what I mean? And if someone does do it, it's not gonna be. There's gonna be people that are there that are able to stop this person from making it even worse. So on one level, I understand what it is that you're saying in terms of, yeah, it's very easy for somebody to pull pull the lever, right? You guys get what it is that I'm saying with the index finger. It's very easy for someone to do that and unalive someone else, right? It's not difficult for that to happen. But if we have someone that is there to sort of damage control, to make sure it doesn't get out of hand, absolutely, yes, we can, right? And it would reduce the amount of people that are doing it if they know that they're not going to make it out of the situation alive, right? It would drastically reduce the number of people willing to risk their lives in that way. But thank you so much, DJ. Appreciate it. We protect our money and politicians better than we protect our kids. I said that earlier in the stream, right? I said that earlier in the stream in a different way, because we do protect. And then someone actually sent in a chat, and I was talking about the airports, right? Ever since it happened in 9/11, the airports, because airport, right? It's a vital place for transportation. You know, people make money coming into the country. People transport goods and services, all types of stuff at the airport, right? So there's a lot of money at the airport. But yeah, people protect their money. right? But won't protect their kids, right? I think the kids need to be protected, guys. I think the kids need to be protected. And I think collectively we can do something about this. This happened in Georgia. Here we are in New York talking about this situation. Name says, yeah, you're not ending the stream. Okay, we'll see. Free Palestine says, Ansa Musid. Yeah, I wish for peace in the Middle East between both sides, to be completely honest with you. What if we give all the kids... Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Bro, why did you shave your beard? It's time for a change, man. It gets to 6 months. 6 months at 6 months period, it just starts to yeah. I usually change it around 6 months. Yeah, just saying that have a big impact on how a child evolving into violence because they don't have those parents as a measure. It's kind of other talk. Just my meaning. I agree. Okay. First time here. Topic, please. You have to go back to see what the topic is, to be completely honest with you. Or just read the title. You'll see what the topic is in the title. Okay. All right. Will reduce but not stop it. Okay, DJ, I get it. At least let's start there. Let's start by reducing it first, right? And then we'll work towards stopping it. Let's reduce it drastically, and then we'll go to stopping it. Okay. All right. Told him the topic. Don't worry about it, buddy. All right, guys. Well, you know what? I think that'll be it for the stream tonight. I think, that's not necessarily a stream that I would have wanted to have. I wouldn't have really wanted to about. Wouldn't necessarily have wanted to be talking about something like this, but it did come up, and some of us are parents. Some of us do have children that go to schools. And even if you're not a parent, you don't have children, like this affects the entire world. Affects the community. And these are things that we definitely need to address at grassroots level. BBYT says, how can we send you money? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to really give out my Cash App on here, to be honest with you. Not yet. I think once we start to really... Once the channel really starts to take off, then there's going to be like the super chat element of things and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, I do appreciate you wanting to send money. I sincerely do, BBYT. But, he says, send me his money, then I'll take it. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I do appreciate you wanting to send money tonight. But it's all good. I want you to keep your money. I want you to... The money that you were going to send me, try to help out the kids with the money. The kids that are going through this situation. I sincerely do appreciate it, though. Someone name is saying, sorry, don't end it. Nah, I got to end it. I got to wake up tomorrow. I apologize. But, yeah, I appreciate everyone that did tune in. If you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. I do have to wake up early tomorrow. I'm probably not really going to go to my bed yet. What kids just got here? Says Kay's confession. Yeah, so I do have to wake up early tomorrow because I am gonna be at school with my kid to make sure everything is okay. But yeah, guys, I wish everyone a blessed night. If you guys can help out those children, I would really appreciate that. Do what you can for the kids right now. The people that are, the aftermath of what it is that's happened, some of the families that need help that are mourning, I think that's where we at with it right now. What's some of your talks? I'm for and AJ's for elections. Ketil Henriksen, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm not running for office though, but thank you. I appreciate that. Vote for Kamala. We love you. Don't leave. I gotta go. Thank you so much, everyone. If you haven't done so, subscribe. Be kind to yourself. Tell yourself something positive before you go to your bed. When you wake up tomorrow, tell yourself something positive, but don't just say it. Really, actually mean it. And keep your vibration and keep your energy high. Things will work out in the future. And yeah, guys, let's be optimistic. Let's be proactive. Let's stop these things from occurring so much. And for anyone who has lost someone in this situation, we send our condolences to you and RIP to anyone who has passed away, in the tragedy that happened today in Aapalachee High School. Yeah, everyone, take care. Let's stop the gun violence in schools. Thank you. Bye bye.